Of all of the over 1,000 videos I have produced in my 8 years on YouTube, this one might be the most important. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to my colonoscopy. Yes, I am vlogging my colonoscopy prep, and I will also be vlogging tomorrow when I have my actual colonoscopy. So if you are scheduled for one and you're worried about it, if you're supposed to schedule one and you haven't because you're worried about it and you're looking for like a real person going through it in real time, hello, you have come to the right place, and I'm really glad that you're here. So let's talk about my experience. I had my first colonoscopy at 52. I was supposed to get it at 50. I put it off. I didn't do it. When I finally did do it, and now they recommend you start at 45, they found a polyp of unusual size, so much larger than it was supposed to be. Otherwise, kind of compare it to like the rodents of unusual size from Princess Bride. If you don't get that reference, you should go watch that movie. But because of that, I get to get a colonoscopy every year. So this is my fourth one in 4 years, which is not fantastic. I'm not thrilled about it, but it does make me an expert. And I have learned some tips and tricks over the last 3 that I've done that I'm using this time. So I'm going to walk you guys through all of that. Now, couple things to know. Your doctor may do it differently. My doctor sent my prep to me through a mail order pharmacy like a month ago. As soon as I scheduled, it came to me in the mail. Some of you might be operating under old information about colonoscopies because you used to have to drink a whole gallon of prep, which is just disgusting. Now it's just 2 of these little bottles and you mix it in a cup like this. Big tip here, chill your solution. It tastes so much better if it's chilled, and I don't really find it bad tasting. I won't start this till 6 o'clock tonight, and I'm already getting ahead of myself. I actually have another bottle of this in the fridge. So let's go back to 3 days ago when I started what they call a low residue diet. Now, in my opinion, the low residue diet it makes what we'll call the evacuation stage of this process so much easier. So you're avoiding anything, and your doctor will give you specific recommendations. This is not meant as medical advice. This is just my personal experience. My doctor gave me a list of things they didn't want me eating 3 days before. So no popcorn, nothing with seeds, no raw vegetables. I could eat cooked vegetables, but not raw vegetables, nothing multi-grain. So white bread, rice, pasta. I was able to do butter and olive oil and all of that, but nothing multi-grain and nothing with seeds. And then today, which is the day before, we are on our clear liquid diet. You can also eat lean meat, fish, chicken, all of that. But let's talk about today, because today is clear liquids only. So when we talk about clear liquids, you need to be able to see newsprint through the liquid. You don't need to be able to read it clearly necessarily, but you need to be able to see it. And you have to avoid anything red or purple. And also I've read some places orange, although orange is kind of up for debate if that's really necessary. I like to make this as successful as possible because after you go through all this, the worst thing would be for them not to be able to get a clear view. And remember, the prep isn't just because people are being silly. The prep is because they can't get a clear view unless your colon is cleaned out and they can see everything really beautifully. They want it to be all pink and shiny so they can tell if there are any issues. So what I had Scott get for me yesterday, and keep in mind I'm a pescatarian, so that's going to matter in just a minute. We have apple juice, which who doesn't love some apple juice? We have Sprite, which I'm actually working on this right now. We have some lime jello, very exciting. We have some zero Gatorade. Now you can absolutely do regular Gatorade with sugar. I find because I'm doing full sugar Sprite and the apple juice, all that sugar tends to feel just like a little bit too much for me. You cannot do red Gatorade or purple Gatorade. And again, the orange is a little iffy, so they want you to do like lime, but I don't like lime. So this is the zero Gatorade in the cherry flavor. I think this is called Glacier Cherry. Now, please notice this is not actually clear. It's a little bit cloudy, but this is on the approved list. I checked, so you're good with that. When you're moving through your day, you may decide you want something a little more savory. Yes, this is going to be my dinner. If you're not a vegetarian, you can do chicken broth or beef broth, heat it up. pretend it's actual food, but nothing with any pulp and no solid food. In terms of like medication and stuff, you need to check with your doctor. None of my medicines needed to be discontinued, but especially if you're on certain vitamin supplements and things like that, you want to find out well in advance what you're supposed to quit. So it's right now 2:30. I haven't had anything solid to eat today. Am I hungry? I am. It's not horrific. I can also have as much black tea and black coffee as I want. In fact, I'm going to make myself a cup of tea right now, and you can put sugar in your tea. So the caffeine really does help with the appetite, and it's just not that big of a deal. So we're going to come back here at 6 o'clock tonight when I go to do my prep. Now, don't worry. I'm not going to actually show you my personal evacuation stage of the process, but I will show you how I do my prep. Hooray! All right, it is now 10 minutes to 6, which means it's go time. Feel free to accept that joke as it was offered with love and peace. So here is my cup. Let's read our instructions. So 1 6-ounce bottle of liquid bowel prep mixed with 6 in this with 16 ounces of water. So the fill line is here. So as I told you guys, the best thing to do is to keep your prep in the fridge. I don't know what I did with the other thing of prep. I won't need that till tomorrow morning. So this is the first one. It's 6 p.m. I have to pour this into the water, and then I have to, hold please. I can never get these little things off. I gotta pour this into the water. And then I'm gonna fill this up to the, hold on. I'm just gonna, okay. We're gonna fill up to the 16-ounce line with cold water out of my refrigerator because that is the coldest water I have. I've heard of people mixing this with Sprite or Gatorade. I don't know why you couldn't. But again, we know that I am such a rule follower. Now, this is important. I think I was supposed to already have taken this. Dissolve 1 tablet under the tongue 30 minutes prior to taking your prep. Whoopsie. Oh well, I'm just gonna do it now. I could technically stick, you know what, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stick the prep in the fridge. I'm gonna dissolve this under my tongue. If you're wanting to know what this is an anti-nausea pill. I take it now, and then I can take it every 6 hours if I need it for nausea. So let me do this, and then we'll come back and drink our prep. Okay, we're back. 16 ounces to be drunk slowly and steadily, followed by 2 16-ounce glasses of water. So I'll take my first sip so I can tell you if it's really horrible. Doesn't smell bad. No, it's not horrible at all. It doesn't taste like anything. It tastes like club soda. It was a little bit bitter, club soda, but yeah, really not a big deal. Well, I'm not going to have you stand there and watch me while I drink this entire thing. So just trust me. I'll come back when it's time to drink the water, and I'll let you know how this went. Wait, one more. So exciting. It's like watching paint dry. It's good times. Okay, so we're up here in my office, and I'm finishing up my 2 16-ounce glasses of water. Couple of tips before I log off for the night. Number 1, have a bathroom that is yours and yours alone to use for the evacuation stage. You just want to have it available at all times. Secondly, one of the most important things that I forgot to mention is getting baby wipes and potentially diaper ointment. Kind of depends on how sensitive your skin is. I bought diaper ointment last year. I did not need it. Again, let me go back to, if you did your low residue part of the prep well, this next part will go a lot easier on you. It's not going to be as dramatic as some people make it seem. At least it has never been that way for me. There's going to be 3 or 4 episodes in the bathroom tonight. Then I'll be able to sleep through the night just fine. And then I'll get up at 6 a.m. I'll do the exact same thing we just did a couple more times before tomorrow. To know if you're fully prepped, it should be almost like urine. Sorry, not to be too specific, but that's how you know you're fully prepped. So what happens tonight, the color will get lighter and lighter. If this is too gross for you, too bad, because this test could save your life. So we're just going to talk about these things. I met a guy at CES who sells bidets. He worked for the Toto company. And he said, you know, in this country, we talk so readily about all kinds of things, and yet we never talk about this, and there's so much shame around this, which is such a normal part of living for every single human being. It's kind of weird when you think about it. All that to say, it's really normal that it will move from like brown to like yellowish to then tomorrow it should feel pretty much almost like clear. And that's normal. That's how it's supposed to be. So you've done your job well. They'll ask you about that when you get there. So the next time you see me, it will be tomorrow when I'm doing my second prep. Maybe either that or the next time you see me, it will be when we are on our way to the endoscopy center. One note on that, you do have to have a designated driver. In fact, Scott and I were just talking about that it's really bad because a lot of people don't have someone that can take off work, go with them, wait around with them. It usually takes like 3 hours, and you really want to have somebody that can do that. They won't let you just take an Uber. It has to be someone that will stay with you the whole time. So we were saying we should start a company and call it Colon Cab. Like we'll pick you up, take you to your colonoscopy, and wait with you and bring you home. I think you'd have to have some kind of medical license to make that work, but whatever. I'll check back tomorrow, and yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. So bottoms up. I'm sorry, I can't help with the jokes. It's my dad in me. This is what it is. Okay, good morning. It is colonoscopy day. I am dressed, ready. Everything went as it was supposed to go. I think I told you guys this last night. Maybe I didn't. The goal is that you should be really passing nothing that looks like normal. It should just pretty much almost look like urine. So that's where we're at. So yay me, happy colonoscopy, finishing the prep. Not gonna lie, getting the Supra down or whatever it's called this morning was rough. I hate that second prep, but I just, you know, did a good job and I got it down and I'm really proud of myself. I did take the anti-nausea medicine, which totally helps. And I was allowed to have black coffee with sugar up until 4 hours before the procedure. So I got up at 5. I did the final solution. I did my business. I had my last cup of coffee was like at 6:55, 7 a.m. Now nothing to drink until after the procedure. You can brush your teeth, but you can't swallow. So yeah, I'm ready. Now, in terms of like, should you wear anything in particular? The only thing you do need to think about is wear something that's going to be easy for you to put back on when you're feeling a little out of it. Because it's not like deep general anesthesia. It's more like a twilight sleep, but you will feel a little out of it. So you want to make sure that it's something that's easy to put back on. And yeah, that's it. So Scotty's ready to go and we're off on our adventure. I did forget to tell you guys, I actually have a pre-colonoscopy movie that I love. It's called Ghost Town. Téa Leoni and, I forget the guy who plays Téa Leoni's husband, but he's really funny. And Ricky Gervais. Great film. Very like positive, life-affirming, super funny. And it starts with him going to get a colonoscopy, so that's why I always watch it. But it's a really fun movie. And I will say too, I did not do the veggie broth last year, but I did it this year. That made a huge difference last night because even though that seems like such an unappetizing meal, I actually felt like I had regular food and not just sugar and, all of that. So yeah, I did everything I was supposed to do. So let's move on with the next phase and go to the endoscopy center. Woohoo! Okay, we're back in the car. I don't have my microphone on, so the sound quality might have changed, but all done. Great nap. Scotty picked me up because he's a good guy, right, Scotty?
I am a good guy.
And also James, my nurse anesthetist, is a huge aviation fan. So he actually came back to meet Scotty. Boy, he just wanted to talk all about the 350 and all about your job. He was really fun. Unfortunately, and this is the sad news, they did find yet another polyp. However, not a polyp of unusual size like last time. It was a smaller, like an ROUS. Yeah. Familiar. Smaller than last time. So she said, big drum roll, I don't have to come back for 1.5 to 2 years, depending on what the biopsy says. So what they'll do is they'll send the polyp out for biopsy. If it comes back precancerous, which is frankly what I'm expecting, all of the other ones have come back precancerous, she'll then release me to 1.5 to 2 years. Anyway, it is what it is, and now we're gonna go have lunch. I will come back later and talk more about like the overall procedure, any tips I think of. Yeah, it went as expected. Oh, okay. It's a couple days later. I am fully recovered. I have gotten some good nutrition in me. And I want to talk now about what happens next after you've finished your colonoscopy. So first of all, I want to say having to go back every year is not typical. I am one of the lucky people that because I have had 4 different times now polyps removed, and because many of them have been larger than normal and they have all been precancerous, I am on a higher protocol for screening. I'm going to put an article down in the description box that is an American Cancer Society article that talks about the different types of polyps. A lot of you, like something like 75% of you, there will be no polyps at all. The rest of you, it's quite possible your polyps will be totally benign, and that will change how often they want you to come back. It's also possible that a polyp will come back malignant or cancerous. I won't know that for about another week yet. If that should happen, there will be a whole different set of things that will happen. They did get the polyp completely, but they would have me come back in for additional screening and things like that. So even that is not the end of the world when it's caught early, right? What mine have typically come back is this area of precancerous polyps, and there's several different kinds. Mine, unfortunately, are on the little more concerning side, so that's why I have to come back every year. If this one comes back precancerous, I probably will have to come back in 1.5 years. If it comes back totally benign, which would be great, then I might be able to push it to 2 years. I want to talk to you real quick to the whole thing about people will say, oh, it was so great. I love the big meal I had after my colonoscopy. I have never experienced that. I always have a lot of gas discomfort because they've literally been blowing air into your colon. And especially because I always have something removed, it's a little bit longer process. I always have a little bit of pain, a little bit of discomfort. Nothing serious, but when they say take it easy the day of it, it's both to recover from the anesthesia and also because you could have a little bit of pain and discomfort. It's not unusual to have a little bit of bleeding. Like your doctor will go over all of that with you. They will for sure call you the next day to make sure you're doing okay. But it's really just not a big deal. Now, I will say I do have a little bit of stomach discomfort generally the day of, the day after, and even sometimes into the following day. So I'm not eating these big, huge meals. I don't know who these people are. They're like, I had my colonoscopy and then I don't know, went to IHOP and I ate a ton of pancakes and all this. I cannot do that. So if you're more like me, that's not something to be concerned about. I think it's just everybody's body is a little bit different. I want to say right now too, to remember that I am not a doctor. This is not to be taken as medical advice. This is just anecdotally me sharing my own story as someone who has to get frequent colonoscopies. The team that helps me is so great. Where I go, the people are so amazing. I already told you guys we got to meet James. James, if you're watching, hey, I'm just, welcome to my channel. I'm always getting subscribers, y'all, even when I'm getting ready to go under anesthesia. And it was just a really, I felt very, very well taken care of. My doctor's wonderful. When I woke up, she was like, I can't give you the exact news you want, but it's also not horrible news. And, we just do what we can. There is so much in life that we don't have control over, but this one thing you can do and you can schedule. I will say definitively, of all of the over 1,000 videos I have produced in my 8 years on YouTube, this one might be the most important because this one could actually save your life. There are some of you walking around right now that have polyps that need to be taken care of. They might already be cancerous, they might be precancerous, and even if you don't have that, the peace of mind of knowing that you got it done. And my hope is that this video helped kind of demystify it. I hope that someday they will have a better, kind of less pain in the neck screening technique for this. But right now, colonoscopy is still our best path forward and the best way to screen for colorectal cancer. So whatever you're doing today, I hope you're finding joy. I do videos about all kinds of things. Very rarely is it about medical procedures, but sometimes it is. So if you like travel, home, lifestyle, and sometimes medical procedures, I would love for you to join us. It's totally free to subscribe, and it means the world to me. And please don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. And if you really loved it, share it with a friend. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.